I think that everyone around the world has at least heard of One Piece or knows a little about it. The question that many people ask is, why is this one show so famous? Another burning question that is always asked about the show is, why has it been going on for so long? The longevity of One Piece in sports terms can be compared to someone like LeBron, Messi, or Ronaldo. The One Piece manga was created in 1997 while the anime was made in 1999. Just to show the longevity of One Piece, I will be naming some shows or some animes that started after One Piece was made and have ended while One Piece was still ongoing. Some of these animes and manga include Naruto, JJK, My Hero, Attack on Titan, Fullmetal Alchemist, Death Note, Demon Slayer, Bleach, even though it may be continued in the future, Kaiju no 8, and Vinland Saga. There are many more incredibly famous animes and manga that I haven't mentioned, but this just goes to show how long One Piece has actually been going on for. Everyone who knows about One Piece has heard other people mentioning that it may be too long, but in my opinion, this is what makes One Piece special. Knowing that there will always be new content for a series that you've caught up on always makes you excited to see where the story goes. I've seen many people complain about how some shows on Netflix take around 8 episodes or have 8 episodes after being produced for 2 years. For example, something like Stranger Things. This long wait between seasons is not a major deal, but having only a small amount of episodes just makes it feel like a scam. The One Piece anime and manga have both taken a good amount of breaks, but fans of the series are always know that there will be a lot of new ideas to discuss whenever these episodes and chapters drop. Now going back to the question on why One Piece is so long. Nobody but Oda truly knows why this is. Oda himself is a very creative author and he always has ideas just flowing through his head. He has previously stated how One Piece would never end if he wrote everything he has wanted to write. Oda has stated that One Piece would end in a couple years multiple times in interviews, but this has always been proven wrong as he has been extending the deadline. While some mangas have started and finished, Oda has always been there working on his creation. Longevity isn't just doing something for a certain amount of time. It also includes how consistent one is while doing that certain something for a long amount of time. I will now list all of the years that One Piece was the highest selling manga. 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, and 2018. Another very impressive feat of One Piece is the total amount of sales that it has produced. The One Piece manga sales is estimated to be around 580 million and has already surpassed Batman and is only 20 million behind Superman. The rise of all these new mangas such as Demon Slayer, JJK, and Blue Lock have been dominating the sales over the last couple of years, which is very understandable to say the least. This decline of sales isn't due to quality, but due to the amount of chapters being produced each year, which is based on the health of Oda. The fact is that One Piece has still been performing very well in all the years that it wasn't the highest selling manga. When mentioning longevity, you also take into account the quality and not just the amount of years. The quality of One Piece has always been very consistent. There may have been some years and some arcs that didn't provide the most enjoyment or have the best writing, but we can always rely on One Piece to be amazing. Rather than focusing on the very small amount of inconsistencies, the number of amazing chapters and good writing has definitely made everyone focus more on the good qualities. No matter how many arcs are not as liked as much as other arcs, there are always still some good moments. Some examples include Syrup Village, Skypiea, Punk Hazard, Long Ring Longland, Fishman Island, and some parts of Wano. As someone who's caught up and has finished Egghead, I personally enjoyed a lot of these arcs, but it makes sense why these arcs are not as liked as others. Some people always say how One Piece gets good after a crazy amount of episodes, like 200, 300. But I know that me and other people were hooked right from the start. The part where I truly saw a lot of potential with this show was the fight between Mihawk and Zoro and how Zoro claimed to never lose, apart from Arlong, Enel, Lucy, Kuma, Kizaru, and the Yeti Cool brothers, but we don't talk about that. For other people, the part that truly got them fully invested into this show was the walk to Arlong Park. I think that the part where One Piece hooks you is different for a lot of people, but everyone who watched the first couple of episodes knew how good the show could be if it kept going in the right direction. After many years of writing One Piece, people would expect for the quality to go downhill, but I believe that ever since the end of Wano, there have been a crazy amount of good chapters. This longevity of staying at the top for this long and maintaining this level of quality is what sets One Piece apart from other shows and manga. The themes that One Piece tackles in this story just shows how this story isn't just a kid's story. Some examples of these dark themes include the corruption of the government, violence, racism, and other dark themes. For all of the dark themes in One Piece, there's always some good themes, such as friendship, the importance of dreams, and also freedom. One Piece has stayed on the top for this long because of the brilliance of Oda, and I hope they will maintain this quality until the end. Thank you for watching.